The Plan Path.
Hello and welcome to Plant Path Podcast today, your choice hub for book reviews and crucial conversations. Okay, the show is brought to you by Plant Path Consult. I'm your host on the show. My name is Oluwatosin Ade. Okay, happy new month 2022 March. Okay, this episode is supposed to be released on Tuesday, 1st of March 2022. Thank God for a new month. Like Nigerians will say, we are marching into happiness, progress, and all of the great stuff of life. Okay, so we found like ways to add 1001 years of enjoyment into your life, and we thought to bring you this book review. Is a book called The Happiness Hack: How to Take Charge of Your Brain and Program More Happiness into Your Life. It is written by Ellen Petrilins, and it has one what they call it, one money back guarantee. It says your life and brain will never remain the same again. And it was written in 2017, and I really believe it. Like, as I've read it, and trust me, I'm not remaining, I did not remain the same. So listening to this podcast episode, you are never going to remain the same. Ross Savage is a Guinness Book Record holder and a lecturer at Yale University. He has some this to say about the book. Says that if you want to be more happy, productive, and calm, and really, who doesn't want to be like that, then this book is for you. This podcast episode is for you. Wisdom and wonder bursts out of every page and every minute you're listening to this book review, along with clear and simple explanations of the science of what goes on in our heads. Your life and brain will never remain the same again. And trust me, that's true. Buddha says that if we want to experience true happiness, joy, and love in our life, that we would have to first discipline our brains and control our minds. If we control our minds, wisdom, virtue, and enlightenment will naturally come to us. Really, that's true. You understand? And we all know that happiness begins from right inside of us. Margaret Lee says that happiness is not a station you arrive at, but your manner of traveling. So, our manner of traveling through every day of our life, you understand, is very important. Not about all the high moments we have in life or the low moments, but what happens in between, you understand. So that's how why this is very important. This book review is so important. You need to share with all your friends and ensure that you're also listening to previous episodes that we've done. Okay, so let me say a few things about the author. Actually, was said in the introduction, you understand, about how she started feeling like something was wrong in her life, like something was just missing. Things were not just like as it's supposed to be. There's that feeling that you have, even if you have all the money and stuff, you just feel like you're not complete. And what she did was that she actually tuned within. She started reading more books. She didn't try to blame people, try to blame the Nigerian economy or something. I know that things like our realities can be very, you understand, overwhelming. She didn't try to blame the Ukraine war, Ukraine and Russia, was currently happening and everything. She really started looking within, and she started reading more books. And I really liked her approach. This is something I like to emulate in my life more. You understand, like looking more within for solutions to things. Okay, so and then of course she started reading, and that's how she started on her own happiness journey. And let's start on our own happiness journey together too. Okay, so let me say this about the author. She was born in August 12th, 1958. She's an American author, businesswoman, educator, entrepreneur, and online community pioneer. She has spent the past 35 years working with leaders at Apple, Google, Facebook as an entrepreneur, and with dozens of startups. She is a writer on topics of workplace dynamics and a Stanford instructor. Remember, she's actually 63 years old. That woman is goals. Trust me, I had to go check her up like big time, read about her. She is goals. And this person is the kind of person that when she's talking, please listen very well and be taking notes. So as you are listening to this podcast, please take note. So I'm really tempted to keep talking about her, but let's jump right into the book. So the beginning of the book tells you a lot of things about the brain, the hindbrain, the cortex, the limbic system, and I'm really not going to bore you with all of those long story. I don't think it's really necessary. Let's if you really want to know more about the brain, you may just pick up the book to read or pick up other materials to read, you understand? But then I think we should go more into the practical aspects of the book. Okay, so our brains are like driverless cars mostly, like it automatically follows like programmed routes. Like, why do you think that once a baby is put to nurse, like put at the breast of the mother, the baby just knows how to suck, you understand? So we all have like configurations, like cars, like phones, we all already have a setup that we came with. But truth of the matter is that you can uninstall some things, you can install some stuff, you understand? So that is how it is. We can uninstall things that are not beneficial, add things that we need to improve on, you understand? Focus on what is working and all of those kind of stuff, you understand? To help us build like happiness into our lives, like program more happiness into our lives and take charge of our brain, you understand? So let me tell you a fun fact at this point in time. Our brain is a hungry organ, really. Even though it occupies like 2% of our adult body mass, like weight, you understand? It actually consumes about 20% of our energy supply. Like, I have always known this. Let me even tell you this. I remember growing up, my dad would always say, people should eat though. People should eat. You know, there's a tendency for people to say, you're not cocoa doing anything now. You're just reading book. It is not like you run or anything. My dad will always say that brain work consumes a lot of energy. So we just saw it here again, and turns out my dad was right. So that doesn't mean you should not give it an excuse to be overeating and you are at your computer or you're reading or something and you should just overeat and everything. No, we're just saying that when you are reading, you understand, pay attention to your, so you're doing anything that requires brain work, like pay attention to like food intake and everything and energy supply. Okay, so let me read a quote to you because this book is filled with a lot of quotes and it just helps to explain a lot of things. I love quotes and this book just eats it like at the right spot. Let's read a quote by Gilbert Taylor. Gilbert Taylor is a neuroscientist, is a stroke survivor and an author. He says that without structure or discipline, our thoughts run rampant on automatic because we have not learned how to more carefully manage what goes on inside our brains. We remain vulnerable to not only what other people think about us, but also to advertising and on and or political manipulation. So you have to learn how to pay attention to your brain because you know the way advertisers that can just get into your head and stuff. I remember somebody saying recently that she wanted something. I can't remember who that is. I think that person is in the UK. I can't remember exactly who that was, but I remember seeing it on my WhatsApp status that she wanted something, like she just thought about it in her head. She didn't write it down anywhere on her notepad or online notepad or anything. She didn't say it to any of her friends. But the next thing she started seeing was that she started seeing adverts on that thing pop up, and she was like, is Instagram and social media like is tech now a wizard and everything? You understand? So that's the same way too. Me, what I think I don't remember responding to the person, but the thought that actually came to my head when I saw that is that actually sometimes this feeling and urge to get something may not be your original thought really. It may be that you've seen adverts of these things over and over again and it just sticks you to your mind that you really have to get it, like you really have to get it. Okay, so there was also something that happened to me. I'm just trying to buttress this point that if we don't take charge of our minds, we will really be manipulated by advertisement, political manipulations, and we may not be able to take charge of our brains and our lives, everyday life and everything. So there was something that happened to me that I would also like to share with you. Okay, so in December 2021, I went to someone's house and I saw this rechargeable blender, like you can smoothie maker, and I really liked it, and it's actually something very useful. Then before you knew it, I started seeing a lot of vendors, Nigerian vendors, you understand, selling meat. I started seeing blend jets online, and it became a little bit overwhelming for me. Like I was like, wait, I'm not understanding. Like it's not like I don't have something else to do to use. And if I want to make smoothie, maybe even if I don't have a blender or something, I would eat my fruit like that and drink water, and the smoothie will be made inside my tummy. So why the pressure? I had to, like, even at the point where I had the money to make that purchase, I intentionally didn't make that purchase immediately because I was like, no, this urge is not, like, it's not something I should encourage myself to, understand, to like get the product, because it's becoming unbecoming of the urge and everything. So it's important we are paying attention to what's going on in our minds and in our brains every single day. Okay, so there's a question by Ellen Petri Lins at this point. She was like, what is happiness? Like, she now uses like some codes to try to explain it, and I will read one of them before I start going into details. She says, okay, Helen Keller. We know Helen Keller. She's author, speaker, and a groundbreaking activist. She says that true happiness is not attained through self gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. True happiness is not attained through self gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. Helen Keller. So there are really two types of happiness. There's the hedonic happiness that is impulsive and indulgent, or the temporary relief of urges, and there's the eudaimonic happiness that is deep. It is well seated, and it is aligning with the purpose, conquering obstacles, and achieving growth. So pleasures and easy indulgences are not even part of hedonic are not part of the eudaimonic menu. So you can grab what I'm saying now. The hedonic happiness and the eudaimonic happiness. So the hedonic happiness is quite impulsive, you understand, what you do on the spot and everything. Then the eudaimonic is well seated, and as much as, yes, there are like bursts in our life where we have that hedonic happiness, something gives us pleasure and everything, and we run after it. I think that it is very important that we focus on our eudaimonic happiness too. Very, 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 very important. Very, very important that we focus on that, because that will last longer, you understand. Okay, so the next chapter that will last longer, like very, very, very important. So think about this thing. The next thing, like point of discussion, is on building connections. Like this part is so important to me. Like I'm so passionate about this part. Okay, so building connections. Susie Kazem, she's an author and an artist. She says, what many of us mistake for depression is the need to be understood or to see desires come to fruition. So like I was talking to a clinical psychologist last week, and one of the things we agreed on is that the way people use the word mental health these days, like it is getting literally annoying at times. Like sometimes you're like how, like somebody, so every any single thing people just say mental health. Sometimes if people use mental health to bully their bosses. I mean, something happens, say mental health, the boss just, yes, and just goes like, it's okay, mental health, don't let me do you get that kind of thing. So we're joking actually, but you grab the point in that sometimes what Susie Kazim was saying, that sometimes what we say depression, and people really, really should stop diagnosing people without clinical evaluations. Please stop saying my friend is depressed. At least say like my friend is sad, she's not feeling happy. Stop using all those big and strong words. Please, they are very, it's very important. You can't label people. Labeling is very bad. Like in mental health advocacy, labeling is bad. Okay, so really what we term as depression sometimes is just hardness, you understand. We just need to connect to people, we just need to be understood. And really technology makes us feel like we are connected, you can really send a tweet, a chat and everything. But in the real sense of it, are we really, 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 really connected? Depression is really predicted to be one of the world's largest prevalent medical condition. That's after heart diseases by 2020. That's like a prediction before now. Remember this book was written in 2017. But when you look at it, that really literally happened with the whole pandemic thing. I mean, mental health in this organizations, like I can imagine the pressure on them. And in fact, even if you didn't want to have any mental health issues back then, I mean, with the whole lockdown and everything, you had, some more probability of being exposed to that. So research shows that depression is often a disease of loneliness. Feeling connected with real people is at the very core of our ability to be happy. I remember this book is the happiness hack, you understand? So screens and computers don't lead us to happiness. Our brains know this, and our hearts feel it, and our bodies know it too. It is a worthy curse to build connections. There's a Chinese proverb that says that happy if you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. And if you want happiness for a lifetime, help someone. So connections, like, we are really, really built to be connected. And at this point, I really need to tell us that we need to stop tuning into tech. We need to, I mean, it's not like you're not going to use tech, because tech is very important. In fact, if you even want to eliminate technology, you can't. I mean, part of technology is car. Like, are you going to start working to your office? Like, that's not even going to happen. But you know what you're saying. Like, stop relying on tech for things that tech is not like built to do. Tech is supposed to make our life easier. It's not supposed to be our body. You understand? Okay, so one thing, and another thing I would say at this point again is that we need to focus on enjoying the moment, like enjoying the moment. One of the things I've been doing for some time, is that I've been learning how to pull my phone away. Like, if I'm with somebody, if I'm doing a talk, yes, if I'm in my privacy and everything, and there's nobody around or something, yes, I can use my phone. But once I'm with people, I want to actually sit down and enjoy conversations. If I'm eating, this part is very important. Like, leave your food, leave your phone. I don't know how we're going to phone, maybe watching a movie and eating. I don't know how we can, like, also, like, try stop doing that. But like, stop pressing your phone and eating. You won't even enjoy the food. Like, a lot of people eat food, especially like tech people or people that use gadget, or in office people just even, you are at your desk at the office, you come downstairs or you go to the kitchen, or you come downstairs in your house, you go to the kitchen, you take your food, you are busy pressing your food, you don't even remember how your food is tasting, and you want to be happy in this life. All wrong now, it's very wrong. Like, that's not how to do things at all. Like, we really need to learn to stop using our phones, especially at moments like important moments. Like, leave the phone. Have you gone to event and seen people, like human beings, they'll be recording the event and be obstructing the view of everybody in the hall or something? And in my mind, I'm like, one thing I always tell myself is that there's no point recording it. Like, a lot of time there's going to be official recording that is going to be clearer than what I'm even going to do. You understand? So, like, I need to give myself a break. And the funny thing is that half of the times you don't even go back to watching that. So what's the point? You did not enjoy the event, and you did not even go back to watching it. Work done is zero. like like there's something that says that when you go for sermon, to sermons, like to church and everything, and you take sermon notes, a lot of people don't go back to it. It's okay. Today is supposed to be Wednesday, Tuesday, Abby. This episode is supposed to be released on a Tuesday. Okay, so Tuesday. Remember the topic your pastor preached in church. Did you take notes? If you took notes, have you gone through it at least after 48 hours of leaving the church? So you grab what we are saying. We need to learn how to enjoy our moments. There's so much happiness locked in that, you understand? And there is evidence from multiple studies that we actually take pictures without even remembering the memories. I mean, people are so focused on taking selfies and everything. I beg, please drop your phone. As soon as we tune into tech instead of people, we will really have a price to pay for it, you understand? Okay, so let's talk about connecting in real life now. Let's talk about connecting in real life. Like, in real life, I mean, so I met somebody that was telling me that, it's so easy to be talking online and everything is fine, but when you see in real life, some people will just turn to vegetable. They cannot say anything again, and it's becoming a real problem in our world today. So, how to connect with people in real life? I think we should go on a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back on the show. Thank you.
The Plan Path.
All right, thank thank you so much for listening up to this point. This is the book review of The Happiness Hack: How to Take Charge of Your Brain and Program More Happiness into Your Life by Ellen Petrie Lins. I would always say I have discovered ways to add 1001 years of enjoyment into your life, and you should listen to this. Share this with your friends, listen to other episodes as well. Okay, so we're talking about connecting in real life. So people can seem to be connected geographically, like being in the same space, but then they are not connected like in real life, really connected emotionally, psychologically, because they are using their phones. Sometimes, like, one of the things that my parents have taught me, like anytime I'm visiting them or anytime we are like spending time together, they would always tell me like, just stop using your phone, do not use your phone. Even when I was younger, like when I was in university and like I'll come home and everything, they will say, do not use your phone, do not use your phone, like enjoy this moment that you have with us. You would, like that thing the Bible says that you will always have what they call it, the poor with you, but you will not always have the Son of Man. You will always have your phone, but you will not always have your, like, that person in your physical space, you understand? So Mother Teresa says that we shall never know all the good a simple smile can do. So when you see people, please smile at them in real life. I'm not telling you to start smiling at everybody and be looking like Dundee or like a weirdo or something, you understand? But like smile appropriately at people. You see a security man, smile at the person. One of the games I play in my head, you understand, is like when I'm taking a walk or something or so, and I see somebody that like really does not expect me to greet him or her, like what they call it, a housekeeper, a driver, or anybody that just feels like, or a little child that just doesn't feel like, oh, this person will greet me. I like to greet the person and then see the reaction on the person's face. Like it's usually very priceless. Like person is like, oh my god, you remember to actually look in my direction, and that is something like, it gives me pure joy really to think about that. So smile at people when you see them, give friendly eye contact. Like this one is very important. Like I know that it can be very difficult to for us as Africans, because like our culture, they say respect your elders, don't look in their face and all of that kind of stuff. But I really think that this is something in the 21st century that we got to pay attention to, my people. At least, if I'm not saying that you should look at people in their faces disrespectfully and have that look of, what are you gonna do to me, you understand? That's not what I mean. But at least when you are greeting people, at least the moment you are saying good morning, good evening, good afternoon, you should at least look at people in their eye, like look at their eyeballs. It improves connection. I'm likely to even also trust somebody that looks at me in the face, and the person that's trying to look away, I'll be literally be wondering in my head, what are you trying to hide? So Pena Kondron is a Buddhist nun and an author. He says that to the degree that we look clearly and compassionately at ourselves, we feel confident and fearless about looking into someone else's eyes. Like you already said, that happiness is within us, you understand, and all of that. And can you remember this South African concept of Ubuntu that says that a person is a person through other people? Ubuntu has a lot of definitions, but this is like my favorite definition. It says that a person is a person through other people. So we really need to learn how to start building connections. Like we really need to be more intentional about building connections, you understand? So loneliness is riskier in some age groups than obesity. I can't imagine people that are older or even younger and everything. I imagine having children and the children don't even see you and they are always lonely. It is very detrimental to their growth and well-being. Okay, so connecting with your phone and tech isn't leading to happiness, so you should not take it as your new normal. I know that during pandemic people maybe watch more Netflix, watch more movies, stay at home and everything, especially like if you live alone and you don't have people staying with you and everything. So but then you have to realize that connecting with your phone and with tech is not the way to go at all. You need to start learning how to connect with people. Okay, so and then learning how to disconnect to reconnect, like disconnecting from people, from things that do not like foster your goals and your growth, and then connecting to things and people that actually do foster those things. Okay, so So one thing that you can do at this point, I mean, this is an activity you should really do, is that you should choose one real life thing you would like to do more of, and one screen based thing you need to do less of. I mean, I've already chosen my own activity, one real life thing I would like to do more of, and one on screen thing I would like to do less of. I'm not sure if I want to share this with you like at the moment, but then you should actually choose yours and work towards it. And for everybody that is online shouting God when, and everything at couples pictures and everything or stuff, God, you see somebody abroad and shouting God when, will you drop your phone and go and look for money, or read or do something, build connections? Or you are seeing couples and you are saying God when, like, drop your phone and go and like honor that date you have been dishonoring, honoring. Stop, like, the person that is important to your life that you are busy running away from and are not making time for. Drop that phone and stop saying God when, and go and talk to that person and everything. Then another thing we should also do is that we should start small. We should start small. That, so like, to help you really understand this concept of starting small at your goals and everything, we have an episode called continuous learning. I mean, that is like one of my favorite episodes. I literally listen to that episode again like every week, literally, because to be honest with you, compound learning is like a wonder, and is something that has really helped me. I mean, this is March, and trust me, like, it's been an explosive year for me. Like, I've really been making baby steps at my goals, and I'm really proud of myself. I'm really, really proud of myself. Okay, so take instrumental steps towards achieving your goals. You should listen to that episode anyways. Then Maya Angelou says, be a rainbow in someone else's cloud, aka volunteer. I mean, most organizations, most groups, most communities, you understand, they usually have less support than, and less hands than what they really need. I mean, NGOs and all of that, churches, religious organizations and everything, they are usually very open to you volunteering. So please volunteer. Like, it's a very good way to build connections. It may not be even in your interest group, like your profession. Like, one of the volunteering work I'm really looking forward to opportunities, if you do have, please send me, is opportunities to exercise more. You understand? Like, maybe like propagate exercising and cooking too. Those are like two things. I'm not interested in blogging, like food blogging and all of that. Like, I watch, and also like teaching children exercises, and stand. Those are like two things. If you know any organization that does stuff like that, please send a mail to us, planplasc@gmail.com. I will be really, really, really willing to look into it and all of that. So, and then we should also be rethinking the whole concept of solitude. I mean, as much as yes, it's good to connect with people and everything, there's a part of connecting with ourselves too. We can only love us, like, people will not love you as you love yourself. Like, it's only you that can love you really, really greatly, understand? Because the truth is that people put themselves first. That's the truth. Even if Bible says even the Bible self says that we should love our neighbors as we love ourselves. So if we are not loving ourselves enough, we are obviously not competent enough to love our neighbors. You grab that mix. So please, 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 please take your time to rethink solitude. Make sure you're spending time alone, loving yourself. You understand? Not every alone time is bad. Some alone time is good for you to meditate, to think, and everything. And then the author also recommends that you should, what they call it, you should also do something like, when once you're alone, spend time cooking, taking care of yourself, going to the massage, go to the spa, stay in your house, lay your bed, arrange your things, and stand, just spend time alone. It's very, very good for you. Even if you're in a relationship, you're married, you have kids and everything, your alone time is very, very important. Paul Tillich is a theologian. He says that loneliness expresses the pain of being alone, and solitude expresses the glory of being alone. So you understand? So the glory of being alone, solitude, you understand? Like, you can enjoy that, you understand? It's good to build a great relationship with yourself, and then be patient with your process self. If you've had issues in the past about building connections, people have eaten your eye, they have do joy. Basically, that's a Yoruba expression that means that people have been disappointed. You understand? Be patient with the process, but then let your mind like reiterate. Don't say that, oh, I don't need people. This is this. People are these. People are like this. Use all of those words. No, 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 no. You have to remind yourself, dear one, that technology is not going to help you. Yeah, you understand? Like you need to really create time and build connections with people. Okay, so let's start talking about the next chapter. The next chapter is about unplugging. Let's go on a quick commercial break. We need a break right now. We'll be right back. The Plan Pack. Welcome back. Remember that this show is brought to you by Plan Pack Consult, the choice of for everything education. You can reach out to us on every of our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and on LinkedIn at Plan Pack Consult. You can also send us a mail at planpac@gmail.com. Let's know the kind of book reviews you like us to do, the kind of critical conversations you like us to have on this show, your suggestions and all. Book us for trainings and everything education. All right, so we're talking about unplugging in our next chapter. Megan Diom, she's an author and columnist, says we use our gadgets for distractions and entertainment. We use them to avoid work while giving the impression that we are actually working hard. Like, hi, this part there. I don't even want to talk because have you seen people maybe at workspaces and everything that they are so focused on their phone? I mean, you would think that on their laptops, you would think that these people are working, but it's a lie. They're not doing anything. And by the way, the way our brains are very, very powerful, our minds are powerful, our brains are very powerful. I don't know why somehow in our heads, as human beings, I don't know why somehow in our heads we feel that once somebody is once somebody is using their phone, they are not working, but once they are using their laptop, they are working. In my mind, I'm like, that's a very twisted way of thinking, because all the apps that will make me play on my phone, they usually have like desktop versions, and I can equally be on my laptop and not do anything yes I'm productive. I just thought to mention that though. Okay, so back to unplugging. Data has shown that digital media users often spend more time online than they sleep. I mean, this realization is a very heavy and deep realization, though. That's like having 30% of your leisure time on the internet. I mean, so using in a gadget than sleeping, with all the benefits of sleeping, especially people that stay in Lagos. Remember what El Rufai said recently, that people living in Lagos deserve to really go to heaven. I mean, spending so much hours in traffic, like literally 4 hours daily. That's like every week you are spending like 16 to 20 hours like on the road. And that's like normal for Lagosians. And do you even have time to sleep? Saturday you're at Owambe, Sunday your religious celebration is taking you. When do people really sleep, really? So, and then out of this time you're supposed to be sleeping, a Aproko doctor also said something recently that you're wondering why you cannot sleep. It is your phone. Like, drop your phone. I mean, this one works. Put your phone on silence. Drop it on like a table or something across your room and go and sleep. Like, so that when you even toss and turn on the bed, you're not going to go and look at your phone. Very, very important. Like, it's not your village food that's stopping you from sleeping. It's your phone. Pay attention to this. Pay attention to this. So it has also been reported that social skills and empathy have shifted downwards as we spend more time online. I mean, it's like as we spend more time online, we become very aloof as per what is happening around us. I mean, my dad always says something that all the gist that is happening on Twitter, you can say all the gist, but you know what is happening to your neighbor? You know what is happening in your environment? in Nigeria, at least in Yoruba settings, in Yoruba community, say they are doing Oro. You don't know if there's Oro in your community, but Oro is like all these. It's like it's an African traditional what a religion thing that like it's like there's a curfew, you understand, and they like do a parade at night. I hope that explains that really well. But then there's Oro in your environment, you don't know. There's coffee in your environment, you don't know. But then you know everything that's happening on Instagram. Shame on all of us. Okay, so unplugging. Mental health and physical health issues stress, vulnerability, and addictive behavior has been found to increase as screen time is increasing. And then, of course, as physical activity is decreasing. Let me even describe what I saw like yesterday. I mean, this is, we say this thing a lot, we see it in books and everything, but this one was like a practical example. I mean, I was literally, I almost started shouting, like screaming. So I went out and I was and okay, so someone was driving and I was in the car, and then there was just this man on the road. I mean, this man had AirPods on. He was pressing his phone like on the move. He was pressing his phone. Oh my god. And he had his AC on, so he was wound up. And we were honing for this guy. This guy did not hear, and he was on the road. Like anything would have happened to that guy, like someone would have hit him from the back, or you would have hit somebody in front. I mean, literally, people just had to like clear the road for him. He was lost on Facebook. Because I like we drove past him, yes, and we could see. At some point, I was even telling my friend, like, could you please slow down? Let's even see what's going to happen. Like, we're late for our meeting and everything. We just had to just go our own way and everything. But then, I mean, we really need to unplug. Our situation is critical. We need to unplug. So it is true that technology is helpful in our lives, really. Like we said before, you cannot stop doing online transfer. You cannot say you want to go to bank every time you need what they call it money, or go and buy a airtime, or do all your transactions in real time. It saves time and everything, but then we really need to make hard choices. Like there's a Spanish proverb that says that take what you wish and pay for it. So take what you really want in life and pay for it. Seneca says that you can't be everywhere at the same, you can't be everywhere at the same time. This is how it was actually put. Seneca says that to be everywhere is to be nowhere. So you need to start trying to like pause online, you know, catching up with everything online, and being trying to be everywhere at the same time, and like unplugging. Unplugging is really what they call him. Unplugging is very beneficial to us. Like it helps our sense of purpose, peace. It gives us peace of quiet downtime. I mean, you really need to drop your phone. It helps us to find new enjoyments, connections, and practices that will bring us real satisfaction. So please learn how to unplug, like unplug from like things like the online space, and focus on what is happening in the environment. Like focus. Half of the I don't have time to cook, I don't have time to do this that we talk about. If you leave your phone, my brother, my sister, you're gonna be fine. And the average Lagosian sleeps around 11 p.m. And sometimes a lot of people get to their homes by 6 p.m., sometimes by 8 p.m. At least you have 1 or 2 hours to do some useful things to yourself for yourself. I beg, drop the phone. Okay, so let's talk about mastering our minds next. Okay, remember we're talking about, in my own words, how to add 1001 years of enjoyment to your life. Okay, so this section is about mastering your mind, and mastering your mind is about focus. Really, we need to start watching our minds with, you understand, with things that help us achieve our goals, with optimism and solutions to help us cultivate success, not with things like worry, anxiety, fear that can weed our dreams and choke life out of us. So mastering our minds is about clearing the noise and working our brains to move through challenges and resistance. It is deep work, really. Mastering our mind is deep work. It takes, you remember what it says we said about hedonic enjoyment and eudaimonic enjoyment. So mastering our minds is not anything frequent. It is real work, and then but then it is worthwhile work. We tend to see happy and successful people as lucky, gifted, or simply born at the right place at the right time, or having the right environment and teachers. But while these external factors sure contribute to success, I can bet to you that success is more often about practice, focus, diligence, commitment, growth, resilience, and overcoming the all too available distractions that trick us away from our goals Okay, so I would like to say this at this point. Let me give you a practical example before I even use the example in this book. So, Plan Back per podcast. Trust me, this podcast has grown in the past 8 weeks that we've been in this year. Yes, like it has really grown exponentially. Sometimes like I look at the statistics, I really am not so particular about the statistics really, because I know like the long run effect of what we are doing and stuff. We know our vision and everything, but then sometimes like my folks just call my attention and say, oh yeah, just saying, see the statistics. Sometimes even downloaded and sent to me, and I look at the stats, I'm like, how did all of this happen? Trust me, to be very sincere with you, I know that there's a place for God in all of this. Like, trust me, God has been really faithful to us and everything. But then let me tell you, it is not luck. That's the truth. I know religious people will have issues with this kind of statement, but it is not luck at all. It is practice, focus, and all of these things we have already even said. So Serena Williams was the example that was used in this book, really. Serena Williams said something like luck. By the way, Serena Williams, do you know her? If you don't know her, please go and check her up online. There's a book, there's a what they call it, a movie. I said book. There's a movie about her and her sister Venus Williams and their father, that is King Richard. The name of the movie is King Richard. It was released around like October 2021. If you haven't listened to it, watch the movie. I bet please you need to really listen to it. You should definitely like listen to watch that movie rather. Okay, so back to Serena Williams. She was like, she at one point she was like, luck? Definitely not. Luck has nothing to do with it because I've spent many and many countless hours on the court working for my one moment in time, not knowing when it will come. So someone also says that there's a reason we pay attention. Time and focus are the most precious, are our most precious currency. So a Swahili proverb also says that wealth, if you use it, comes to an end. Learning, if you use it, increases. So please pay attention. You understand? Oliver Mary Oliver, a poet, she says that pay attention. This is our endless and proper work. So you tend to remember and enjoy things that you focused on, you planned, and all of that, not the things that you rushed. Let me even give you a very good example here. Imagine that, imagine that you had an assignment and you didn't read for it or something, your test, and you quickly crammed and everything, and then you now had another activity that you planned for, prayed about, prepared towards, and everything. Which one are you likely to remember? So that is a very good example of how we should live our lives. Don't rush through things, please. We have to live mindfully. Okay, think about the things that you gain from mastering your mind and focusing on what you and focus on what you lose when you don't, and like act accordingly. Cal Newport, this is like the action point for this part. Cal Newport says that identify the core factors that determine success and happiness in your professional and personal life. Adopt a tool only if its positive impact on these factors substantially outweighs its negative impact. That is Cal Newport talking. So you have to decide what you care about. I know like what things I care about, and part of the things I care about is family and like education. Like everybody knows it. In fact, sometimes the way everybody sends me, with my friends and everybody even on LinkedIn send me things, anytime they see an opportunity and they read opportunity and they read education part of it, say I didn't read this, but I just thought to send you. You might be interested. Is education inclined? So you will have to all decide what we really care about. We really have to know that it won't be easy getting like the things we care about. I mean, this journey, you think this podcast journey has been easy? Trust me, it has not been easy. Like somebody, my friend, my sister, Adefusha Abiodun, she sent me a review like last week Saturday, and she said something. She was like, to saying, I have listened to like 75% of your podcast, and one thing I know is that this is hours and hours of reading and research. This is hours and hours of you putting like great work and effort into this. And she's actually very right. She's very, very right. It won't be easy getting the things you want, and which is normal. It is fine. The fact that it didn't come easy doesn't mean God is not part of it, or doesn't mean that you're not supposed to pursue that goal. I mean, somebody says that the fact that you are being challenged sometimes means that you're on the right path. You understand? Okay, so So chart your course and prepare for it. What you know, like, is important to you, chart your course and prepare for it. Then focus on the process and not the journey. Like one of my friends that is a Simon Sinek part is fun. I mean, I'm literally going to change his contact on my phone to Simon Sinek. Always says that focus on the process, like, focus on who you are becoming, focus on your process. Process is very important, sometimes even more important than the result. This woman, Mama Reverend uh, Felix Adejimo, Funke Felix Adejimo, she always says something. She would always say something. She will say, enjoy the road to where you are going to. Enjoy the road to where you're going to before you get to where you're going, and it's very, very important. Please enjoy your processes. Your processes are very important. Steve Jobs also says that the journey is the reward. Like sometimes you really want something, when you even get, you want a certification, you want a master, you want to get married, and on the wedding night you just look at each other like, Oton, you don't finish. Like after this, what next? So the journey, our journeys are very, very important. The destination is important, yeah, yes, and the fulfillment is there, but then we should really focus on our journey instead and celebrate our progresses too, and then stick to it a lot. Okay, so at this point I want to also talk about another thing, which is called multitasking. Okay, so I think I want somebody to host an episode with me. So if you're interested, please chat me up, chat us up. Let's host an episode together. It will be nice talking to with another person in time. Okay, so but for now, let me enjoy my company. Let me practice solitude on the podcast platform before somebody comes. Okay, so if you're interested, just chat me up and we can arrange something. Okay, so multitasking is, there's really nothing called multitasking. Like my mom will say, why are you rushing? Are you around Russia? Are you from Russia? That's just a joke. Okay, so really, so there's nothing called multitasking. There's nothing called multitasking. When you say you're multitasking, you are actually task switching. You are switching from one task to the other. So really, we don't multitask in our life. So please, let's take it easy. Yes, and master our thoughts, practice mindfulness, and take our things one day at a time, one activity after the other. Don't try to model up too many things. You understand? So everyday mindfulness, it's important that we talk about meditation. I mean, if we are talking about a book on happiness and we did not say anything about meditation, we're wrong now. You grab. So meditation is not about getting rid of your thoughts. I mean, I've seen a lot of people that they will say, stand up, sit down, till there's no thoughts. I beg, please relax. Some people, we are human beings. So meditation, there's actually a form of meditation that actually meditation is about mastering how we respond to our thoughts, learning not to chase our thoughts or let them chase us, you understand, which is like often what we do in our default mode. It's about bringing our minds into our thoughts. It's about rationalizing every of our thoughts, you understand. Mindfulness is about deepening our awareness, thinking about what we are thinking about. So that also implies that we can do it anywhere. There's a type of meditation that like makes you sit in solitude and everything, but there's another type of meditation that is often less spoken about. That's a meditation that you do every day as you're going into your like everyday cooking, eating, exercising, walking. As you're doing that, you understand. There's that part of you like really looking at, examining what you're thinking about. So all of these things that we have said in this chapter, in this book, that we are coming to the end of this episode now. We need to start activating these things. Like the grass is always greener where we water it. We need to take charge of our lives and our happiness on purpose. What we Jane Goodwall, she says something that what we do make a difference, and we have to determine what type of difference we'll be making in our world. Yes, so please let's take charge of our lives. You understand? Somebody says that when I was in grade school, they told me to write down what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wrote it down. I wrote down happy. They told me I did not understand the assignment. I told them they did not understand life. So please, I could not resist actually saying this. Please, educators, when you are giving kids assignments, as much as yes, they need to get the assignment and everything, please, deeper meaning in our assignments, in our own tasks that we give children, in our classwork, deeper meaning. You understand? Like there's a joke that there's something I put up on my LinkedIn page like a while back, that sources of water. A child said dispenser water as part of the sources of water. I mean, when I was in primary school, that maybe rainwater, forest water, this water, well water, and all of those kind of stuff, like maybe tap water. But this child of nowadays says that dispenser water. Is that child incorrect? Because the child goes to the dispenser and there's water in there. You grab. You understand? So it's a joke. As an educator, you have to really decide how to respond to that. If you need my thoughts, you can hit me up. Okay, so what happiness means to us can really change per time. You understand? Like teacher said, she wants to be happy. I mean, she will be he or she wanted to be happy. Or but then what happiness meant what happiness to him or her meant to him or her then may not be what happiness means to the person right at this moment. So what happiness means to us per time would really change as we go on in our lives. But then we really need to know that it is our responsibility to make ourselves happy. We need to take charge of our lives and our happiness, and we should not put it in the hands of another person. Steve Jobs says your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your dream, your own inner voice. Let me read this thing again, actually. Excuse me, please. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinion drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. There's someone already know what you truly want to become. That is Steve Jobs. Mahatma Gandhi says, "My life is my message." Our lives are our message. So we determine what we want to preach with it. So let me end this book review with this quote by Bruce Lee. We know Bruce Lee now. Ching chong. Bruce Lee is an actor and martial arts master. He says, adapt what is useful, adapt what is useful, reject what is useless, and add what is specifically your own. So after all these things we have shared, adapt what is useful, reject what is useless, and add what is specifically your own. Remember, this is a book review by this is the book review of The Happiness Arc: How to Take Charge of Your Brain and Program More Happiness into Your Life by Ellen Petrie Lins. Like I would always say, I would say I've discovered how to add 1001 years of enjoyment into your life, and you should listen to this podcast to find out how. You should share this with your friends and everybody connected to you. Remember to listen to every other episode that we have. We sure have lessons for you everywhere. Like all my friends will say, Plant Back comes out podcast is lessons here and there. You understand? Wisdom spilling from every angle. Thank you so much for listening to this point. Share with your friends, as we said. Book us for everything education, instructional design, counseling, and everything education. I will be sure to be willing to work with you. My name is Oluwatosin Mubadu Ade again, and this is Plant Path Podcast, your choice for book reviews and everything education. All right, bye.